With the departure of the National Video Game Arcade from Nottingham, thankfully another venue has come along to fill our gaming boots with glee, the Metronome. Opening its doors for the first time in October, this new destination created by the Nottingham Trent University contains music production studios, live recording rooms, and an auditorium for live music, film, talks, and other culture-related gubbins. Rather pleasantly for us, it has also become the new home for Game City Nights, a monthly event that used to take place in the MVA. With only a short blurb on a Facebook event to go by, we weren't really sure what to expect, other than that there would be guest indie developers showing off their games.
This is Man from Lucky Hit. I don't know if you can hear the freeform jazz going on the speakers over there. We're in this place called the Metronome. Metronome, I think? Metronome. How many times can I say metronome? Metronome. We're in the Metronome in Nottingham, in Lace Market, and we're here to play some game about an aggressive duck that terrorises someone's door or something and like bites their cat, Peaches. I don't really know what the name of it is. I don't think it has a name yet. Well, you know, do ducks have rabies? We shall find out.
As we entered the bar where everybody was congregated, there was a PlayStation 4 hosting some Tekken 7 and a student from the Trent University showing off his final year project, a clever first-person puzzle game called Virtual Perspective. This required you to move a lit-up spear from one end of a large room to its goal, avoiding obstacles on the way. What made this so smart was how you have to use your first-person perspective to move the spear to places it shouldn't be able to, using the dark walls to skip and dodge the obstacles. It's kinda like a fully 3D version of Irritating Stick. This game would be great fun for speedrunners, as proven by this gameplay by the developer himself. After an hour of hanging about, we were called into the auditorium as a show was about to start. That's right, a show! We had no idea that Game City Nights is an on-stage show with a live band about video games. Apparently this has been going on for years. Where has this been all my life? As we entered the room, I was smitten immediately. Highlight for me had to be the live game music performed by the yet-to-be-named band. The first show we went to had a guest in the form of Michael McMaster of House, who was here to show us the upcoming Untitled Goose game. He talked through how the project emerged and played through an early build of the game for us.
So yeah, I'm going to talk about our next project, which is hotly anticipated. It's not even really a joke, it's kind of just a reference to an English video game. I'm going to step you through our kind of original design document that was sort of the foundation, the thing that we built the game on top of, this sort of very intense. I'm going to take you behind the scenes, basically. And so here's the design document.
Let's make a game about this.
We wanted you to sort of really embody a goose, to sort of give you ways to sort of express your essential gooseness. And so I think the animation gets you about 90% of the way there. You can flap your wings, which doesn't do anything in the game right now, and I don't know if it ever will. It's just a thing that you can do. And crucially, as foreshadowed earlier, you can honk.
Yeah.
It's a very easy way to get laughs. We're not trying to make Hitman, we're just sort of, but we are trying to make, I guess, like a slapstick version of Hitman. We wanted to be kind of really low stakes. So
Hitman is pretty slapstick, let's be fair.
When you mess up, he doesn't shoot you in the head, he just sort of shoos you away, and then and at worst he takes the item that you've tried to, if I try and do the rake in the lake achievement, this one here, he just takes it and puts it back, and I don't have a game over. That's on purpose. That's meant to happen. I should also mention, like, it's ridiculous that we're making this game as Australians. This is a game that is, like, not explicitly, but pretty much we've decided it's set in, like, rural England in, like, the late 80s, early 90s, maybe. And we just sort of all agreed that that was the setting of the game and never really questioned it, and until we like went back and thought, hang on, why is this the decision that we made? And we realized it's just because we like watched a bunch of Postman Pat when we were 5, and so that's the setting. It's like this nice, quaint, idyllic space that you're just sort of there to disrupt.
This was followed by a strange real-life adaptation of the game where someone from the audience was chosen to find items around the room while dressed as a parrot? Yeah, it was the closest thing they could find.
It is more, in some respects, more
Untitled parrot game.
Than a goose. But
One of the parrots
so,
at the bottom.
the goose understands. Are you ready, Goose?
We can't see her face, but she looks humiliated.
Good. It's good. It's Goose playing a drum solo.
Goose.
You can keep the goose costume on if you want to. You don't want to. Could you release
No,
the goose costume
please.
before she
Help me.
That was weird, isn't it? It's a strange thing to do.
To wrap up, we all sang that song from the end of Bugsy Malone. Sure, why not? I love that song anyway.
Wow, I did not expect I didn't expect this to be a show, like an actual on-stage thing. I just thought this was going to be, oh, come in here and play some games in this room or something. But no, there's a whole show, and apparently they've been doing this for a decade. And yeah, really impressed so far. I'm shocked that there's a thing like this anywhere, to be honest.
The National Video Game Museum opens in Sheffield. It's fine, it's fine. In Sheffield, in 48 hours' time. And inexplicably, we're here in Nottingham, farting about. We showed you a picture of how progress was last month. I think we showed it to you. I think we explained it. It's a big old co-op department store. There's going to be the new video game museum. And progress has been great. Joe, can you show people how it is at the moment? We took this just before we left to get here this morning. This is how it looks now. This is how it looks now.
Looking a bit hoarse.
It's not moved on tremendously.
For the November show, the guests kicked off with Shedworks, the creators of the upcoming open-world desert explorer Sable, who revealed that their company name is quite literal.
Hello. But yeah, we're Shedworks. We're the two-person team. I'm Greg. This is Dan.
I'm Daniel.
And yeah, we're the core team of Sable. We have a couple of other team members. Japanese Breakfast, I mentioned. Meg J. Anth, who wrote 80 Days, she's writing for us. And then Martin Kvaller doing sound design, and Micah Holland.
He did all the like mouth noises in Hidden Folks.
And and Goner as well.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All the like squidges, that's Martin. We have this shed, which Greg's dad just has. And it's in London, and he doesn't mind us using it, and we don't have to pay rent and that kind of thing. And like, not everybody has that. Obviously, that's a huge advantage that we have. And yeah, like getting to work in the same room as each other and not having to work in our bedrooms. You know, that also just helps us to kind of develop and to like bounce ideas off each other and that sort of thing.
For those who don't know, Sable is an open world desert exploration game. It's a game in which you play as Sable, and you're kind of exploring and learning about the world that she lives in, and you kind of leave home for the first time, and you're going out there meeting people, driving your hover bike through a landscape, kind of climbing on old buildings, and yeah, just generally discovering kind of what's out there. Got to go to E3 This year. It feels like longer than...
It wasn't that long ago.
No, it feels like it was. But, and yeah, we got showed the game on stage there, and just, I guess, like, the change in kind of, like, attention that we've got has kind of been monumental. Part of our process is just, like,
Stories in games are crap.
Yeah.
They just are. They have been forever. They're getting better. They're a lot better now than they were like 10 years ago. And they're much, much better than they were 20 years ago. They're making progress. It's not that hard to write a good story. I can't do it, but like people have worked out how to do it. Like, just look outside of video games and like that problem has been solved. And so, yeah, I think it's also about like not being too precious about video games.
Both shows also featured these entertaining talks by James Newman, co-author of the book A History of Video Games. In November, he talked about how games are vanishing due to slowly dying physical media, internet services closing down, and the mistreatment of current games due to things like the game trading sick bag, as he put it. Look after your video games, kids.
But they wear out. So let's start by thinking about how they wear out. Well, what's the most vulnerable media form, or data carrier, as we call it in the business? What's the most vulnerable thing? We've got hard drives, we've got floppy disks, we've got cassettes. It's CDs, it's optical media. They fall apart, they get scratched, they get a kind of weird bloom on them. In fact, sometimes, if you put them in the case, the surface of the CD reacts with the ink printed on the booklet, so even if you tidy them all away, stack them up in alphabetical order, that's the worst thing you can do. The best thing you can do is throw them on the floor. It's terrible. This stuff is falling apart in front of our eyes. Our consoles are disappearing. If you take nothing else from tonight, the phrase progressive embrittlement is one I want you to remember. You know, when I write it down in your exercise books, it's that quality that plastic gets. It falls apart. So we know about plastic lasting forever in one sense, but not in the same form. So it falls to bits. And our consoles, they go yellow. They look very nice, but they eventually stop working. And then, as you mentioned, the internet. The internet. We don't even have a thing that we can try and hold on to anymore. Our games are immaterial. They're in the cloud. And anyone can make it, everyone can play it. Until, of course, the service gets turned off and no one can play it.
Oh, that's a deep cut.
Exactly.
The night was wrapped up with the final guest, none other than Ian Livingstone, co-creator of the Fighting Fantasy books, co-founder of Nottingham-based Games Workshop, and a key figure in making IDOS one of the biggest game developers in Britain back in the 90s.
Ian Livingstone! Literally here! Ian, welcome to Game City Nights. You're one of the few people who've appeared here now 3 times. Great. First question. Why
the third time?
Why the third time?
No idea.
There we another question from the audience.
Do you still play D&D? No. I do play a lot of board games. I've got a collection of over 1,000 at home, and so still play games with Steve Jackson. We have a games group called the Games Night Club we've been running since the 80s, and I'm the secretary of the Games Night Club. It's a spoof gentleman's club, so to speak. So in that club is Steve Jackson, Peter Molyneux, and Clive Robin, a couple of guys who are not in the games industry, but it's been great. And we're on issue 456 of the Games Night newsletter. It has a circulation of 6.
Wow. Who's the current holder of the cup?
I am.
Is that allowed? As secretary as well?
Look, I don't invent the scores. I actually played and won, you know. You're looking at me saying the guy can't win. Look at him, state of him.
It's not.
He's also rather into playing the harmonica, which led to this ridiculous but magical end to the night.
Who's turning his back on interactive entertainment now in order to play for you, and just for you, the words of a John Lee Hooker classic that have been adapted by Joe. Policy, 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 policy. Out control, out delete. Up, down, down. Left, right, left, right. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, that was a night. That was a night. Wasn't expecting that.
So that was the first 2 shows of Game City Nights at the Metronome. These will be taking place every month, so keep an eye on their Facebook page for when the next one is on. This is a truly unique and special thing they've got going on here. I'll be making sure I can attend as many of these as possible, and still can't believe such a thing even exists.
Wow, what an ending. I was not expecting to see Ian Livingstone playing the harmonica. That was quite special. I'm going to get home. It's quite late and dark and very cold. See you later.